Okay guys, let's get started. So what we're going to do today is a little bit of review on applied chords and discussing the function of them. We haven't done a lot of that. And then we're going to compose a SATB piece. I'm going to make sure the range is good for all of us using applied chords, and we're going to sing it at the end. So first let's start with just some review. What is the immediate function of applied chords? So why do we use applied chords? Yes, sir.
The tonicize thing.
Exactly. So at sort of a small micro level, the immediate function of an applied chord is to tonicize a harmony. Okay. Great. Now, what is the phrase or theme level function of an applied chord? Yeah, Joe? Say that one more time.
Dominant.
Okay, so I see you said dominant. So what you're thinking is, okay, where does it fit into the phrase, into the theme? So, we started with 5 of 5, right? So you're on the right track, because what tends to happen is when you get an applied chord, it works the same way that the other embellishing chords that we've talked about work. So like all the 6/4 chords we talked about, other than cadential 6/4. What are those? What did we say the function of those embellishing 6/4 chords are? Caden, what do you think?
Is it prolonging the tonic? Or?
Prolonging something, right? And it's sort of in the name, embellishing, right? And if it's an embellishing chord, like an arpeggiating 6/4 or a passing 6/4, it serves to embellish a particular part of the phrase model, right? So either the tonic or the predominant or the dominant. So you guys are kind of thinking on the same track. I think you're zooming out and seeing, okay, where do these applied chords fit in? And so, yeah, at the immediate level, they're functioning to tonicize a chord. That's the immediate thing they do. 5 of 5 to 5, 5 of 2 to 2, 7 of 3 to 3, etc. But when you zoom out, as part of a phrase or part of a theme, like a sentence or a period, the function is to prolong, to embellish the various parts of the phrase model. Does that make sense? Gary, did you have a question?
No.
Okay, I thought I saw a hand. Okay, so let's try to put into practice that idea of prolonging sections of the phrase model using applied chords. So you can follow along if you want. Save your staff paper, though. We're going to do composing. So we have 1, 2, 5, and 1. So tonic. This is just like a really simplified version of the phrase model. We're just using these 4 chords to show tonic, predominant, dominant, tonic. So we can embellish these things through the use of 7 of or 5 of applied chords to tonicize these. So we can have just these 4 chords, or we can insert betwixt them. Well, here's a 2, so we could do a 5 of 2 here. We could do, so then it goes to 2, and then from 2 we're going to 5, 7. So we could do a 5 or a 5, 7 of 5. Let's spice it up. Let's do a 5, 7 of 5. Just for funsies. I know. Super fun, right? And then, well, 5, 7 is already dominant of tonic. So let's just insert those 2. That's already 5 of 1. Okay, so what is the root of a 5 of 2 chord in the key of C major? Whoa! That all happened like simultaneously. Danny, can you sit like over there? Thanks so much. So we know that it's A. Why? How did you come to that so quickly? The fifth of
The 2 chord is A.
Yeah, exactly. The 2 chord root is D. The dominant of D is A. That's simple. So we know that this is going to be an A major chord. So we could do something like this. Maybe I'll put a C sharp here. We'll make it a 5, 6 of 2. Maybe go down to A here. Maybe make it a 5, 6, 5. Go to G here. Stay on G. And then we can just keep that E. Everything hunky-dory? Any parallelisms?
Yeah, quick question.
Yes, sir.
So that 5-6-5 of 2, would that fit into the predominant?
That's a really good question because so this is sort of an unnatural representation of what's typically going to happen in like a sentence period in Haydn or Mozart or Beethoven. But typically, if you were doing a phrase analysis to show where those parts of the phrase are, this is sort of like a bridge between, right? Sort of how predominant is the bridge between tonic and dominant. So I would probably label this as part of the predominant, but that's getting into nitty-gritty stuff there. And it would take looking at a real musical example, I think, to see how it fits. So in this case, I'm not going to worry about it too much, but I would probably put it under the PD
Just
part.
based on like how it sounds and how it functions.
Yeah, we'd have to look at some real music. This is just sort of for exercise, but you know, yeah, it's a little vague when it's outside of a real musical example. That's a really good question. I think that usually it'll probably be part of the PD part, but good question. Okay, so 5 of 5. This one should be quick for us. The 5th scale degree in C is what? G. What's the 5th scale degree in G?
D.
D. So this should be a D dominant 7 chord, a D major minor 7 chord. So we need, let's just actually keep all this. See how this works. Gonna get some funky chromaticism here. Sure, that'd be great. Okay, so we have D, A, F sharp, C. Everything seemed hunky-dory here, yeah?
Yeah.
Great. So remember this voice leading. We have this 2, 5, 7 of 5 to 5, 7. That voice leading in the alto line, the chromaticism, F sharp to F natural, totally fine. F sharp tends to want to go up to G in this scenario, but because we want a dominant 7 chord before the 1, in this case, this voice leading is fine. Okay, you want to play this?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do it. Now, really quick, back to, as you go over there, back to Caden's question about where these chords fit in. This just came to me. You know, if after this 2, we got like a 1-6 or something, that would we would probably say that all fits under the tonic umbrella, right? Because then you're just getting these chords between these 2 tonic chords to embellish the tonic triad. So it really depends on context. So I mean, here, if this was part of an actual piece of music, I would probably put this under PD because the 2 is not followed by a 1. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I thought I came up with a better way to answer your question. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, let's hear this, Andrew. Thank you so much. Yeah, that works. Nice job. Okay, what questions do you guys have about this concept of how the secondary dominants, the applied chords fit into the phrase model, fit into the context of a theme? Okay, let's start our composition activity.